Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A proposal offered for acceptance or rejection. The act of making a proposal. An offer for a private bargain, especially a request for sexual favors. A task to be dealt with. Securing adequate funding is a time-consuming proposition. Logic. A statement that affirms or denies something and is either true or false. Suggest sex to. She was propositioned by a stranger at the party. A proposal offered for acceptance or rejection. Present for acceptance or rejection. A proposal offered for acceptance or rejection. It was a suggestion we couldn't refuse. Persuasion formulated as a suggestion. The act of inducing hypnosis. A just detectable amount. An idea that is suggested. The picnic was her suggestion. The sequential mental process in which one thought leads to another by association. An offer of marriage. The act of making a proposal. They listened to her proposal. Something proposed, such as a plan or assumption. The use of language to perform some act. The act of contributing to the funds of a church or charity. Something offered, as a proposal or bid. Noteworthy new offerings for investors included several index funds. The verbal act of offering. Money contributed to a religious organization. Propose a payment. The Swiss dealer offered $2 million for the painting. Offer verbally. He offered his sympathy. Agree freely. I offered to help with the dishes, but the hostess would not hear of it. Ask someone to marry you. A usually brief attempt. Mount or put up. Offer resistance. Something offered, as a proposal or bid. Noteworthy new offerings for investors included several index funds. The verbal act of offering. A generous offer of assistance. Make available, provide. The bank offers a good deal on new mortgages. Present as an act of worship. Offer prayers to the gods. Present for acceptance or rejection. She offered us all a cold drink. Make available for sale. The stores are offering specials on sweaters this week. Make available or accessible, provide or furnish. The conference center offers a health spa. Produce or introduce on the stage. The Shakespeare Company is offering King Lear this month. Put forward for consideration. He offered his opinion. Threatened to do something. I offered to leave the committee if they did not accept my proposal. A specific piece of work required to be done as a duty or for a specific fee. The endless task of classifying the samples. Any piece of work that is undertaken or attempted. Use to the limit. Assign a task to. I tasked him with looking after the children. Any piece of work that is undertaken or attempted. He prepared for great undertakings. The trade of a funeral director. A social class comprising those who do manual labor or work for wages. There is a shortage of skilled labor in this field. Any piece of work that is undertaken or attempted. The federal department responsible for promoting the working conditions of wage earners in the United States, created in 1913. Concluding state of pregnancy. From the onset of contractions to the birth of a child. She was in labor for 6 hours. An organized attempt by workers to improve their status by united action, particularly via labor unions, or the leaders of this movement. Strive and make an effort to reach a goal. A political party formed in Great Britain in 1900, characterized by the promotion of labor's interests and formerly the socialization of key industries. Productive work, especially physical work done for wages. His labor did not require a great deal of skill. Work hard. Undergo the efforts of childbirth. Any piece of work that is undertaken or attempted. Extend out or project in space. Make or work out a plan for, devise. Put or send forth. A planned undertaking. Imagine. Conceive of. See in one's mind. Present for consideration, examination, criticism, etc. The candidate projects himself as a moderate and a reformer. Regard as objective. Throw, send, or cast forward. Project a missile. Cause to be heard. His voice projects well. Communicate vividly. He projected his feelings. Draw a projection of. Project on a screen. The images are projected onto the screen. Transfer, ideas or principles, from one domain into another. Computer science. A line of code written as part of a computer program. A fact or assertion offered as evidence that something is true. A document showing credits and debits. The act of affirming or asserting or stating something. A message that is stated or declared. A communication, oral or written, setting forth particulars or facts, etc. According to his statement, he was in London on that day. A nonverbal message. A Cadillac makes a statement about who you are. Music, the presentation of a musical theme. The initial statement of the sonata. Put forward. Nominate for appointment to an office or for an honor or position. Ask someone to marry you. She proposed marriage to the man she had known for only 2 months. Make a proposal. Declare a plan for something. The senator proposed to abolish the sales tax. Present for consideration, examination, criticism, etc. He proposed a new plan for dealing with terrorism. Propose or intend. Make a proposal. Declare a plan for something. Call to mind. Drop a hint. Intimate by a hint. Imply as a possibility. The evidence suggests a need for more clarification. Inform somebody of something. I advised him that the rent was due. Make a proposal. Declare a plan for something. Give advice to. To go back over again. We retraced the route we took last summer. A suggestion of some quality. A just detectable amount. He speaks French with a trace of an accent. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Trace the outline of a figure in the sand. Pursue or chase relentlessly. The hunters trace the deer into the woods. An indication that something has been present. There wasn't a trace of evidence for the claim. Follow, discover, or ascertain the course of development of something. Trace the student's progress. Read with difficulty. The archaeologist traced the hieroglyphs. A drawing created by superimposing a semi-transparent sheet of paper on the original image and copying on it the lines of the original image. A visible mark, as a footprint, left by the passage of person or animal or vehicle. Copy by following the lines of the original drawing on a transparent sheet placed upon it. Make a tracing of. Trace a design. Discover traces of. She traced the circumstances of her birth. Either of two lines that connect a horse's harness to a wagon or other vehicle or to a whiffletree. Make one's course or travel along a path. Travel or pass over, around, or along. The children traced along the edge of the dark forest. Haunt like a ghost. Pursue. Write for someone else. How many books have you ghostwritten so far? A suggestion of some quality. He detected a ghost of a smile on her face. A mental representation of some haunting experience. He looked like he had seen a ghost. A writer who gives the credit of authorship to someone else. Move like a ghost. The masked men ghosted across the moonlit yard. The visible disembodied soul of a dead person. A slight indication. A just detectable amount. A hint mockery in her manner. Drop a hint. Intimate by a hint. A slight but appreciable amount. An indirect suggestion. An indication of potential opportunity. A slight suggestion or vague understanding. An indirect suggestion. A distinguishing style. This room needs a woman's touch. Make a more or less disguised reference to. Consume. She didn't touch her food all night. The event of something coming in contact with the body. He longed for the touch of her hand. Be relevant to. A suggestion of some quality. There was a touch of sarcasm in his tone. Have an effect upon. The act of putting two things together with no space between them. At his touch the room filled with lights. Be equal to in quality or ability. Your performance doesn't even touch that of your colleagues. A communicative interaction. He got in touch with his colleagues. A slight attack of illness. He has a touch of rheumatism. Affect emotionally. I was touched by your kind letter of sympathy. The faculty by which external objects or forces are perceived through contact with the body, especially the hands. Only sight and touch enable us to locate objects in the space around us. Tamper with. Don't touch my CDs. To extend as far as. The chair must not touch the wall. A slight but appreciable amount. This dish could use a touch of garlic. Be in direct physical contact with. Make contact. The two buildings touch. The sensation produced by pressure receptors in the skin. She likes the touch of silk on her skin. Color lightly. Cause to be in brief contact with. He touched his toes to the horse's flanks. Comprehend. He could not touch the meaning of the poem. Deal with. Usually used with a form of negation. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Deftness in handling matters. He has a master's touch. Make physical contact with. Come in contact with. She never touched her husband. Perceive via the tactile sense. Helen Keller felt the physical world by touching people and objects around her. The act of soliciting money, as a gift or loan. He watched the beggar trying to make a touch. The feel of mechanical action. This piano has a wonderful touch. The act of drawing spatially closer to something. The hunter's approach scattered the geese. Ideas or actions intended to deal with a problem or situation. His approach to every problem is to draw up a list of pros and cons. Move towards. We were approaching our destination. The event of one object coming closer to another. A relatively short golf shot intended to put the ball onto the putting green. He lost the hole when his approach rolled over the green. A tentative suggestion designed to elicit the reactions of others. A way of entering or leaving. Come near in time. Winter is approaching. Begin to deal with. Approach a task. The temporal property of becoming nearer in time. The approach of winter. Come near or verge on, resemble, come nearer in quality, or character. His playing approaches that of Horowitz. The final path followed by an aircraft as it is landing. A close approximation. The nearest approach to genius. Make advances to someone, usually with a proposal or suggestion. I was approached by the president to serve as his advisor in foreign matters. A short respite. An indirect suggestion. Not a breath of scandal ever touched her. A slight movement of the air. There wasn't a breath of air in the room. The air that is inhaled and exhaled in respiration. His sour breath offended her. The process of taking in and expelling air during breathing. He took a deep breath and dived into the pool. Something that serves as a preceding event or introduces what follows. Drinks were the overture to dinner. A tentative suggestion designed to elicit the reactions of others. Orchestral music played at the beginning of an opera or oratorio. Slender tactile process on the jaws of a fish. One of a pair of mobile appendages on the head of e.g. insects and crustaceans, typically sensitive to touch and taste. A tentative suggestion designed to elicit the reactions of others. Sensitivity similar to that of a receptor organ. Move forward, also in the metaphorical sense. Being ahead of time or need. Gave advance warning. A change for the better. Progress in development. A movement forward. Give a promotion to or assign to a higher position. Women tend not to advance in the major law firms. An amount paid before it is earned. A tentative suggestion designed to elicit the reactions of others. She rejected his advances. Situated ahead or going before. An advance party. Increase or raise. Increase in price or value. The news caused a general advance on the stock market. Obtain advantages, such as points, etc. Develop in a positive way. Move forward. We have to advance clocks and watches when we travel eastward. The act of moving forward, as toward a goal. Rise in rate or price. Contribute to the progress or growth of. Bring forward for consideration or acceptance. Advance an argument. Cause to move forward. Develop further. Pay in advance. Can you advance me some money? Formally making a person known to another or to the public. A show or display. The act of presenting something to sight or view. The presentation of new data. A visual representation of something. Obstetrics. Position of the fetus in the uterus relative to the birth canal. Cesarean sections are sometimes the result of abnormal presentations. The activity of formally presenting something, as a prize or reward. She gave the trophy but he made the presentation. The act of making something publicly available. Presenting news or other information by broadcasting or printing it. He prepared his presentation carefully in advance. The act of presenting a proposal. Put something somewhere, firmly. She posited her hand on his shoulder. Logic. A proposition that is accepted as true in order to provide a basis for logical reasoning. Take as a given. Assume as a postulate or axiom. He posited 3 basic laws of nature. Put before. A saying that is widely accepted on its own merits. Logic. A proposition that is not susceptible of proof or disproof. Its truth is assumed to be self-evident. Event whose occurrence ends something. The proposition arrived at by logical reasoning, such as the proposition that must follow from the major and minor premises of a syllogism. The act of making up your mind about something. He drew his conclusions quickly. A position or opinion or judgment reached after consideration. His conclusion took the evidence into account. The act of ending something. The last section of a communication. In conclusion, I want to say. The temporal end. The concluding time. A final settlement. The conclusion of a business deal. An intuitive assumption. Jump to a conclusion. Carry on a conversation. Turned about in order or relation. A proposition obtained by conversion. Of words so related that one reverses the relation denoted by the other. Parental and filial are converse terms. the lower and stouter of the two glooms immediately enclosing the floret in most Gramineae. A subsidiary proposition that is assumed to be true in order to prove another proposition. The heading that indicates the subject of an annotation or a literary composition or a dictionary entry.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.